Then the king Nebuchadnezzar was astonished. He rose up in haste and spake and said unto his counselors, did not we cast, I'm jumping ahead of myself. I'm jumping ahead of myself. Here we go. When he goes down, see now I lost my spot. That's all right.
It's okay.
But he goes down and he takes Daniel out of the cave. He declares once again, man, you have the God. You have the God. Your God is the God. So this same king promoted Daniel. Daniel was not afraid. Daniel did not say, well, this king promoted me, so I owe him something. Because Daniel knew that what he got was from God and not from that king. That king had to promote Daniel. He really had no choice. You know, God had done what God had done. Daniel acknowledged God. He said, because of God, I'm able to do this. So God, he got what he got because of God, not because of that king. And because he knew that it was because of God and not because of that king, that Daniel could say, I'm not going to worship you. I'm not going to worship your idol. I have to worship my God. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, same principle. When Daniel got promoted, he told the king, he suggested to the king to put them in an administrative position. He puts them in an administrative position. He says, at the sound of the music, you will bow down, you will worship. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, I already have a God. Already got a God. Not shopping for another one. No, already got a God. So, the king again, furious. Oh my, oh no you didn't. Oh no you're not. I put you in this position and you're not going to worship me? Really? For it? Into the fire. Into the furnace. Anybody who does not worship me will be thrown into a fiery furnace. Fires up the furnace is fired. He's so mad. He promoted these dudes and they not going to worship him? What? Make the fire hotter. 7 times hotter. 7 times hotter. Then he tells his biggest, strongest soldiers, tie these dudes up, throw them in the fire. Does it take the strongest man in your army to tie somebody up? Really? You just gonna throw them in the fire? No, it doesn't. But he was so mad. He wanted to make sure, tie these dudes up. They're not gonna worship me. Tie them up, throw them into the fire. So here they go. They're bound, and they're going in. And look. We're not going to worship him. We're not going to worship him. We have a God. That's who we're going to worship. Okay? And he is able to save us from this fire. But if he doesn't, he's still God. If he doesn't, he's still God. If you throw us in and we burn alive, I don't know how you burn alive, but you burn to death. Anyway. You throw him in, and you can throw us in, but you know what? You still lose because we have not worshipped you and we will not worship you. God wins whether we live or die. God is still God. Oh, man, oh, man. In your face, King Nebuchadnezzar. Anyway, so here we have. This fire is so hot. It is 7 times hotter than what was already going on. Fire was already hot enough to burn people up. Why make it hotter? You're going to burn them faster. It was so hot. It was so hot that the dudes that walked them up to throw them in, they died. They died. So here you go. They're in the fire. They're in the fire. And the dudes that threw them in died. Okay. So they waited a minute or two and they hold up. What? They are walking around in the fire. What the? 7 times hotter, and these people are walking around in the fire. What is the deal? Some people say that God took the heat out of the fire. No. Because the ropes that they were bound with, it says they were walking around. Something burned the ropes. Fire burned the ropes off them. Fire was still hot, burn the ropes off of them. The ropes weren't anointed. Ropes had no purpose. Ropes had no purpose. Ropes burnt off. Fire was still hot, but they're walking around. Yeah. Nice furnace, you know. You get one of these in my house. They're looking around. Yeah, just started moving. Walking around in the furnace. They didn't think of walking out. They stayed in there. They just. It's a fire. It's fire. They just walking around. So they look in. King looks in. We throw 3 in. In fact, didn't the dudes that throw them in, they died? But there's 4. What is going on? What is going on? I need to do furnace. These ain't dying. You got extra people in there killing the ones on the outside. I need to do furnace. Yeah. But no. The 4th person was Jesus, walking in the fire with them, preserving them, doing what God said. I will help you. I will strengthen you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. I will keep you in a 7 times hotter fire than what was intended to burn you up. I will keep the hungry lions at bay while you sleep, no less. Not while you sit in the corner, huddled up, fretting and worried. No, Daniel was crashed out. You know my Tempur-Pedic or Sealy or whatever, a sleep number and all of that. Get you a lion. Get you a lion. That should be Daniel's commercial on there selling lion. You get some good sleep, sleep on a lion. Yeah, you ain't no sleep like sleeping on a lion. Daniel slept on a lion because God helped him through that. Not purposed in it. Daniel purposed in his heart. He lined himself up to serve God no matter what. He lined himself. He determined in his heart. When he determined in his heart and he got his friends in with him, Hananiah, Azariah, Mishael, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. When he got them, they were in line with him. And because they were all in line with God, because Daniel purposed in his heart. And when he purposed in his heart, he shared it with his friends. When his friends, they got on board, they were preserved. They weren't just preserved like saved in their original condition. Like, you slap a flower in a book, it's preserved. Okay? I don't think so, because when that flower grew, it wasn't flat. Yeah, it wasn't flat. It was all blooming and looking nice and everything. But boom! I smashed this flower. It's preserved. No. The flower is flat. But God preserves. When He preserves, when God preserves, it's so much better than even the original. They were better than when they came in, because when they took upon the diet, their countenance, they were fairer and fatter. They looked better. They were of better stature than those who were partaking of the king's sustenance. And because they refused to worship another God. They refused to worship the man who had promoted them. Refused to worship the one who put them in their high position. Dig this. The one that promoted them got angry with them. The one that got angry with them threw them in the fire. The one that got angry with them and threw them in the fire, when he saw what God was doing, preserving them in, he called them out of the fire. Come out of there! He called them out. King, 7 times hotter, throw these dudes in. The thrower in guys died because they threw them in the fire, died. Now the king is coming down close to the fire. He done lost his mind. He getting close to the fire. He didn't think, man, these 2 dudes threw these guys in. They died. He didn't think. He gets close to the fire. Come out. When God preserves you, when God helps you, the one that promoted you, got mad at you, the one that threw you in the fire will call you out of that fire. He didn't just call him out of that fire. What did he do? He promoted him again. Promoted him again. He had no choice. God didn't go down and tap on the shoulder and say, come on, these guys, they got it. No. But he saw how good God was. He saw that demonstration of